is going on, everybody? Welcome to the latest episode of The Legislative Director, talking about legislative things. Here she is, AARP Indiana's local resident property tax expert, Amber Marr. With her, as always, not the Legislative Director, Jason Thompson, who took a college math course that could basically be lovingly referred to as colors and shapes. Welcome to the show, Amber Marr. How are you?
Oh, hanging in.
Hanging in. So today's episode, we are going to focus in on property taxes.
I have a correction, though.
What's the correction? I did take colors and shapes.
No, I believe that.
Okay.
No, I'm not an expert. I had experts on the forum.
Okay.
We needed to make sure that we said that.
Do you know about property taxes, though? Besides paying them?
I do pay property taxes.
Okay.
I'm learning a lot about them. I thought I knew enough. I don't know the extent.
Okay.
But I'm learning.
Good.
Okay.
We're all learning. And you know what?
You pay property taxes too.
I do. Okay. But I don't know what I'm doing. And this is why this was so important, is because this week,
yes,
we had a virtual event.
Oh, yeah.
I think we talked about it last episode where we talked about property tax. We were having this virtual event where we were going to have some experts on that are more familiar with property taxes than us.
Yes.
As well as Senator Holdman, who is the chair of the Senate Tax and Fiscal Policy Committee, where all the property tax bills are going to be kind of running through. So we had him on the chat. So and on top of all of this, we released a survey around property taxes and what older Hoosier homeowners were thinking and feeling about them. And so a lot happening around property taxes this week. A lot happening with property taxes at the Statehouse. The governor is talking about it. Everybody's talking about it. It's a thing.
It is a priority.
It is a priority issue. So we're going to spend today's episode talking mostly about property taxes. And if you don't like hearing about property taxes, look, just stick around and learn something. It doesn't hurt you to learn a little bit about property taxes.
I think you need to clarify something. We're going to be talking about property taxes from a perspective of AARP Indiana's proposals. If you would like to kind of hear about the history,
yes,
or about the current state, you might want to.
You want to go back and watch it?
Yes.
You go to the AARP Indiana YouTube page. Go to YouTube, search AARP Indiana. We're there. You go into the little live section and you'll see the video of our property tax forum. It's a very brisk hour. It goes by quick.
Yeah.
Even though we are talking about property taxes, one would think that this would drag. It doesn't.
It's pretty heavy info, though.
It's heavy info. A lot of great stuff in there. Check it out, and you can get a better feel for how we got to this point and now where we are going. Mm-hmm. And today we're going to talk a little bit about AARP issues and priorities in this space, where we think older homeowners can get some relief. And then we'll also talk a little bit about that survey and, what's going on. Just grabbing that mic. It's okay. I don't even think people notice.
I hope it's okay.
It's okay. Right. So, Amber, let's dive into a little bit of the AARP issues.
Yes.
With regards to property taxes, some of those policies.
So obviously, AARP Indiana understands that property taxes are critical for our local communities. We understand that those property taxes fund essential services, including schools, first responders, things that individuals need as they are aging in their communities. But we also know that older Hoosiers are struggling to pay them. Mm-hmm. So some of the proposals that we are talking with legislators about include requiring that current property tax relief programs are included in property tax bills, printed or sent within the property tax bill to individuals across the state. Many property tax relief programs are underutilized because folks actually don't know about them. So this would be helpful in an effort for people to know that there is help out there. And I don't even really mean help. There are just programs that exist that if you qualify, you would take advantage of.
Yep. But if you don't know about it,
how can you even do it?
Yes.
Now, with that being said, some of you might say, wait, I know on my property tax bill, I see some of these programs. It is because there are a few counties that actually do list things that you can apply for or use to lower your property taxes, but not all counties do that.
Yep.
Okay. So that's one of them. It's just bringing the attention of these programs to Hoosiers.
Yes.
Okay.
It's just information sharing.
Yeah.
About what already exists.
Yep.
Okay. What's another policy?
One is encouraging more counties to offer monthly payment options.
Yeah.
So some of us who still have a mortgage, we pay that through our escrow. But if you own your home or you do things in a different way, you would have to pay your property taxes in either one lump sum or two lump sums. And so this would just allow counties to offer that option that if folks would like to pay monthly, so they're not taking that huge chunk out of their budget yearly, this would offer that opportunity. Now, again, in Indiana, we have, there was a law passed that said counties may offer this option. And unfortunately, only, I believe, several counties offer it.
Yeah.
So we would just like to encourage and advocate for more counties to do that.
Yep. Agreed. Because this way people can kind of, it's just easier from just taking it out in smaller chunks throughout the entire year rather than having to cut, large checks twice a year or once a year, like you said.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Another one includes creating a new statewide tax credit to provide relief to Indiana homeowners 65 and older. This would be for the highest property tax burden in relation to their income. So those who need it most. This would be income-based, not assessed value-based.
Okay, so this is like I only make this much money. This much money. My property taxes is this percentage of my income. Then it would kind of kick in. Am I saying that right? I probably got that wrong.
No, there are different ways to do it.
Yeah.
I think that right now there are a lot of bills out there that are doing it in a different way. However, you're asking me something that I did not have in my paper with me, so I'm going to get my notes.
That's fine. That's my fault.
You made it sound like I was an expert, and I'm not.
You are. There we go. I think it's that one.
Well, give me a second, please. Okay. It's the households with highest tax burdens relative to their income.
Okay.
So yes.
Okay. So I was close.
No, I think you were right. I just don't have, here's the thing. We also have a model bill.
Yes.
But as you know, right now, what's happening, I have so many papers. I'm not going to be able to find it.
We can move on.
No, I mean, we'll come back to it.
Yeah.
But I guess what I'm trying to say is, I don't have it. That's not what I was going to say. This would be a circuit breaker. I'm trying to not use this word.
Yes,
this is why I was looking for something so that we could explain this in a different manner.
This is why it's not necessarily that Amber doesn't have the materials in front of her. It's just that Indiana, look, I'm going to say this lovingly as somebody who's lived in this state his entire life. We're a bit odd. And I say that because Indiana has a circuit breaker for property taxes, but it's not really a circuit breaker.
It's not a true circuit breaker.
To everybody else in the property tax world.
Yes.
It is not what people would consider a true circuit breaker.
Right. So what we would be offering is a true circuit breaker.
Yes.
But I know that gets really wonky to say. Even on the forum yesterday, we are just referring to it as creating a new statewide tax credit. Because to say we would want a circuit breaker, people might
be
say,
confused.
We already have a circuit breaker. It is not a true circuit breaker.
Okay.
If that makes sense.
I think we got there. Yeah.
Okay. So the last one that I think we can talk about today is allowing older Hoosiers to delay paying a portion of their property taxes until their home is sold or their estate is settled. At that time, the taxes would be paid back with interest. And
there's actually legislation for that one.
So yesterday, I see I always do that. We are recording on a Thursday.
Yes.
I know, sorry.
This forum was on Wednesday.
Senator Holdman mentioned Senate Bill 6.
It's 6. I think it's 6.
Let me see. Sorry, my computer was just saying it was going to restart. That's perfect.
That's not great.
Look, it still says it's a required start in 4 minutes, and I keep pressing start tonight. It's not letting me. Okay, well, we'll just have to deal with that. Yes, it's Senate Bill 6 is the property tax deferral program, and this is authored by, keep restarting tonight, it's not working, Senator Rogers, Senator Holdman, and Senator Buchanan.
Okay.
And then co-authored by Senator Gaskell and Senator Walker.
Okay.
So this is an opportunity for us to, and we mentioned this yesterday, is that we are very grateful because a deferral program is something that we are also talking about as an option for a tool for individuals to lower their property taxes. Now, a deferral program, though, you still have to pay your property taxes. It's just that you can defer a little bit each year. And, you know, Senate Bill 6 breaks down that formula.
Yeah.
And when you sell your home or your estate is being settled, you have to pay all of that back. So there would be a lien against your property until that is taken
whatever
care
that
of.
interest rate is as
but
well.
it does still lower it while you are trying to stay in your home if that is something that you want to do. But
okay.
It does, you know, that will still give those funds to your local community.
Yep.
It's just that they would wait for a little bit.
And then they would get the full amount with a little bit more.
With a little bit more. Yeah.
Okay. So what other, I guess, before we dive into like our survey results.
Yes.
What do we think about talking about some of the other legislation that is out there?
Oh,
well, that we're just kind of
I think I just wanted to. Yes, I can bring up really fast because yesterday they talked about Senate Bill 1.
Yes.
I think it's really important if you did not get a chance to see the forum that you go back and watch at least the end half where Senator Holdman is talking about it and Robert from Senator Braun's office.
Governor Braun's office now.
Oh my gosh.
It's going to take us a second to get used to that. He was senator before he was governor. So.
Governor Braun.
Yeah.
My apologies.
No, you're totally fine.
Okay.
Because I keep on doing it as well. Self-reporting.
So Senate Bill 1, Senator Holdman explained that he is carrying that bill for the governor.
Yeah.
There is a very large price tag on it.
$1 billion or so plus
per year.
Per year.
Right?
It's well over $1 billion actually.
That local communities would lose.
Yep.
So they're in major discussion. I'm not going to actually talk about Senate Bill 1 because a lot of things are going to change for it by the time it gets a hearing. Senator Holdman did mention that Senate Bill 6, 7, 8, and 9 are going to be heard next week in the Senate Tax and Fiscal Policy Committee.
Okay.
So Senate Bill 1, they just have to work some things out. He's meeting with the governor. They're in very large conversations. He said they're just trying to come to a compromise. But that one will probably not be heard next week. Okay.
Well, look, property taxes, it's a lot of stuff happening around it. It's why we had that event on Wednesday. And it's why we put forward this survey that we put out there. Mm-hmm. And so a little bit about that survey it was at the end of December or middle of December, right before the holidays, is when folks were called. 1,001 Hoosier voters over the age of 50 that own a home, their primary residence, I believe, here in Indiana. And so it is, it's something we want to get a better feel for what folks were saying. So as you're talking with legislators, it's like, hey, these are what your constituents are saying about property taxes. And so we're going to give a little bit of those highlights. We encourage you all to go. You can see the whole survey at aarp.org/IN property tax poll. So you can get all the information there. But a couple of the things are, you want to talk about some of these numbers? You want me to run off some of these numbers?
Yeah.
Oh, but you can do it right there. You got it right there.
I mean, you can do it.
Look, first of all, we got to pause here.
Oh.
What's going on here? I have like papers to refer to. Some might call it notes.
It's data. You can't make that up.
First of all, that also insinuates that I make stuff up on this show.
Well, you're right. That was the wrong word to use. I mean, sometimes I think you're right.
Maybe.
You said I was an expert. I'm not. That was made up.
So what are the first numbers we want to talk about here?
Older Hoosiers want property tax relief, and 84% of older Indiana voters who are homeowners report that they've experienced an increase in their property tax bill over the past 3 years. 84%.
That's a lot.
It's a lot.
It's a lot.
Yeah.
We've seen those increases.
66% consider the amount they pay for property taxes to be high.
Also very true. I mean, because we've seen, these are just, not only are they seeing it go up, but it is impacting their income significantly.
I think yesterday, I could be wrong on this. We might have to fact check me.
Uh-oh.
Senator Holdman said that even this year, individuals' property taxes will jump 7%.
Yes, which is down from the whatever double-digit increase that folks were seeing, but it's still high. It's still high. And I think our earlier guest, Larry DeBoer, Professor DeBoer from Purdue University, when he was talking a little bit about the historical side of things, while Indiana's property taxes, when compared to, like, say, Illinois or some of our neighbors, are lower, our property taxes are going up higher and faster than most.
Yes.
And so that's why it's also being such a huge impact on older homeowners.
The last stat on this page from our poll was 60% say that changes in property taxes over the past 3 years increased their overall household budget.
Yep. So that's and that impacts, and that's something else that and I'll kind of try to pull up some more data here with regards to that, is aside with that, those rising costs, it's impacted their ability to 63%. It would make them it more difficult to afford home repairs and maintenance. 57% said it would make it difficult to afford their homeowners insurance. 56% said it would make it more difficult to afford their mortgage payments if they still have a mortgage. And then 54% said that it would make it more difficult to afford their utilities, which we also know, and we've talked about on this, is that utility costs keep on going higher and higher on that as well. So this issue with rising property taxes has that kind of trickle-down effect on a whole host of other issues that older homeowners are facing, especially those that are, on that limited income. Yeah. What's another stat that we want to kind of show? So, and if you're watching this, you're going to see some of these up on your screen.
Yes, they're on slides right now.
And then also you would see the same information on the recording.
Yes, we're using the same slides that I used yesterday.
Yep.
To sort of help folks understand what we talked about. This slide that you see, or I'll just talk about it because if you're not watching, you're listening. 2/3 or 66% of older Indiana voters across party lines think policymakers need to make lowering property taxes for homeowners a priority in 2025. 72% were Republicans, 61% independent, and 57% were Democrat.
Yep,
And yesterday we heard from Senator Holdman and Governor Braun's office that policymakers are doing just that.
Yep.
They are making it a priority.
They are making it a priority. And then when we talked about some of those policies that we are advocating for.
Yep.
And so we asked those questions as well, folks. And what were some of the results around that?
76% supported the idea of implementing a new statewide tax credit for older homeowners.
Okay.
And again, when we were talking about that, we are referring to a true circuit breaker that only deals with income and not assessed value.
Yep. Okay.
And then 74% support all Hoosiers to pay property taxes on a monthly basis, which we talked about, encouraging other counties to provide that option for their residents.
Yeah, and I think that number is like let me see if I can pull some. No, you didn't miss any. I'm referring back to our we put out a press release around this that got picked up in some places.
Oh, yeah.
And we'll highlight where one article here in a second. But so with regard to our policy, something else that was incredibly popular, I guess you would say, is that 93% agreed that increased communication about existing property tax relief programs is essential. So what we had talked about earlier is just putting that information in your property tax bill or just out there where people can readily get it so that they know what programs exist was also incredibly popular amongst those that we talked to. And then up on your screen now, I think I mentioned it before, it's aarp.org/IN property tax poll. If you want to really dive into the numbers and kind of see all the results, that's where we'll kind of push you to. Obviously, stay tuned to our various social channels and whatnot. We're going to be putting all that information out there. And then, like I said, you can also poke around. We got some press coverage on that. I think producer Anna, she can put it up on the screen now. There was one from our friends at the Indiana Capital Chronicle. That was a write-up of our event and talked a little bit about our polling. You can kind of see it on the screen now if you're watching. Otherwise, if you're listening,
that is really great.
Go to they're great people there. We're big fans of their work. You can also, if you just go to their website, Indiana Capital Chronicle, or search them out, you can see all sorts of information and then their coverage.
As Anna's scrolling, there's another little box here on the screen that shows just our survey results.
Yep.
Or some of them.
And if you want to see some of these, so look, a lot of information I'm going to throw at you right now. You go to our YouTube page so you can watch that recording. You can go to aarp.org/in, and there's going to be an article right there up top about the event that's going to have links to watch it, to get the PowerPoint slides that were a part of it, just more information there. So I encourage you to seek that out as well. And just stay tuned for more information around property taxes that we're going to be putting out there throughout the coming weeks and months, because this is an issue that's going to be continued to be talked about at the Indiana General Assembly.
Absolutely. I also wanted to shout out to the IBJ.
Shout out to Amber Marr, who wrote a column for the forefront section of the Indianapolis Business Journal. Hold it up. So look at
Hold it up.
She's holding a.
I think everybody knows
not
what the IBJ
not to make this look like a hostage video or something, but
what day is it? Can you see the date on the newspaper?
You can see right down there at the bottom. You can also check it out online.
But there were also a lot of other articles about property taxes. Representative Greg Porter, Representative Craig Haggard. It was a
so who's who of property tax talk.
No, that would not. I would not be here if that's that.
So they were. There was a prompt for that about whether or not older homeowners deserve some property tax relief, and so Amber has a column in there talking about that.
This little insert that's state lawmakers are considering property tax relief for older Hoosiers.
So also check that out at the Indianapolis Business Journal. A lot of good information out there about property taxes coming from not just AARP Indiana, but
no.
Oh, look, there's a lot of good stuff coming from AARP Indiana.
I'm gonna have a coughing fit. I'm trying really hard.
Okay.
No, but I was gonna say that's one of the things that I wanted to talk about really fast was mentioning all of the speakers that we had on again.
Okay.
And just thanking them, if that's okay.
Shout out to our speakers for this event. Let's give the rundown.
So Larry DeBoer
from Purdue University, who we professor of Ag Econ.
Yes. I was just making sure I was looking at their bio so I have it right. Ag Econ at Purdue University.
Yep.
He was great. Then we had Ryan Hoff, who is with the Association of Indiana Counties, also did a fabulous job.
Yep.
Then we had Senator Holdman, which we've already stated. And we had Robert Ordway from Governor Braun's office.
Yes. And so
thank you for all of them giving information. And
also on this, Amber Marr, who was asking questions and running the show, and our state director, Sarah Waddle, gave a little intro and outro for it.
Oh, yeah, you are
state director. So look, a lot of great people on that call, a lot of great information on that, I guess, webinar, virtual event, whatever we want to call it. A lot of great stuff there.
We did realize that we probably needed more time.
We probably did. It was a lot of people for an hour.
And just there's so much information that I think, between Larry and Ryan and possibly even Senator Holdman and Robert with Governor Braun's office, they could have used a lot more time.
I think they could have. I believe Professor DeBoer said that he had just given this presentation to a different organization, and he took 2 hours to do it.
He had
12 minutes.
He had 12 minutes.
But he did great.
He did.
And we'll hopefully have him back on again to talk some more about property taxes at another time. But all in all, a lot of property taxes, a lot of discussion around it. Stay tuned for more. Amber did a great job on that forum, on that event. And look, we'll do that again sometime soon as well.
Okay.
All right. Anything else?
I think that covers that. We'll have a lot more to discuss next week because of the hearing.
Yes. More to talk about at that. Our legislative team will be in town on Monday. So hopefully we'll get some B-roll or maybe some interviews with our legislative team. Try to get some Statehouse footage of that action. It's going to be another busy week in the never-ending month of January.
Yes. The never-ending month of January. It's a long one.
It has been a long one. Anyway, Amber, great work this week.
You too.
Anna, great work this week, and just always, and also always with you. It's not just this week that you're doing great work. So I just appreciate you both. Appreciate all of you that are listening and paying attention. Thanks to everybody who joined us for our property tax event this week. Go out there and check it out and watch it for yourself.
And we will have more bills to talk about. We just
More
really
bills.
wanted this one to focus on.
We're just
taxes.
honing in on this property taxes, honing in on that survey, just all good stuff. Well, I think that's it, Amber. That's a lot of information. As per usual, appreciate you.
I need some chapstick.
Okay, chapstick she needs. And drinks of water for coughs and whatnot.
I was going to say, we might need to close this down before I start to have it.
It's hot under these lights. Anyway, appreciate you all, and we will see you next time on The Legislative Director, talking about legislative things. See you then.